Hello, and welcome to Bite Size Legal, where we tackle legal issues one bite at a time. My name is Drew Jenkins, and I'm an attorney licensed in the states of Georgia and Alabama. And today, we're taking another quick bite out of limited liability companies, or LLCs. We previously discussed LLC formation and noted how it is the most flexible entity type available that still provides limited liability for all of the owners. Last week, we discussed decision-making in the LLC and about whether to make it be member-managed or manager-managed, but noted with the flexibility that you can still be a manager-managed LLC, but reserve certain decision-making back to the members. This week, we're going to take a deeper dive into the ownership structure of the LLC a little bit more. Let's remember that if you have multiple members, you by default are treated as a partnership. However, given the flexibility of the LLC, it is sometimes easier to think about ownership represented in terms of things such as shares. But we know that shares belong to corporations. So what we're seeing more and more common is that the membership in an LLC is designated by the term membership units. And these units are thought of functionally the same thing as shares of stock. It's just a way that we're able to keep track of our ownership in terms of something a little bit more tangible. I've even seen people give away membership unit certificates in LLCs. It's very similar to the way that stock is treated. But we have to remember that ultimately the partners, the owners, the members of the LLC that did not elect to be treated as a corporation are going to receive K1s. So at the end of the day, those membership units are going to be transformed back into a percentage and flow out that way. So what do the membership units allow us to do? Well, they make it a little bit easier for us to transact business. A lot of people are used to the concept of stock or shares, and by calling your percentage interest in an LLC a membership unit, it just makes it a little bit easier for us to go forward and to think about it like that. Now, also with the flexibility of an LLC, especially if you're out fundraising, you may have different levels of members, right? So very similar to different classes of stock where you have preferred shares and common shares, or you have founder shares. You can do all the same thing in an LLC, and you can call them units. Just remember that when tax time comes, they're going to be treated differently, because unless you elected to be treated as a corporation, your concept of membership units are not going to flow one-to-one like they would in a corporation. You are going to be treated as your percentage ownership in the partnership. It's just that each of those different membership levels are going to be treated differently in terms of decision making or in terms of profit sharing or losses sharing. And as you can tell, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, sound a little bit sick, so we're going to keep this one short and sweet today. Again, the big bites for today are: do not be afraid when you're creating your LLC to utilize the concept of membership units. Just keep in mind that when tax time comes, there will be no concept of units. They will be converted back into percentage ownership of the company. The membership units allow you to transfer ownership a little bit easier, as people are more used to dealing with stock and trading certain numbers of stocks. You can do the same thing with your certain numbers of units. You can also create different levels of units that mimic what you see in corporations with preferred or common stock. And all of this can be done in an LLC. We just have to remember the wrinkles that exist in it, that unless you elect otherwise, a multi-member LLC is going to be taxed as a partnership. I hope you found this useful. If not, I hope you at least found it enjoyable. As always, leave comments below, or if you're watching this in WeChat, leave it in Thread. I do understand I'm getting asked questions to cover the topic of nonprofits. That is something we will cover after we finish with our business entities. And I hope you all have a good day, and see you next week.